In south-central Lehigh County, in the northern corner of Lower Macungie Township, lies the village of Wescosville. This unincorporated community of more than 6,000 residents lies within the East Penn School District and is conveniently located near multiple restaurants and shopping areas. But how did Wescosville get its name? For What's in a Name, I'm Mike Flynn. I'm standing in the cemetery of Solomon's United Church of Christ on South Church Street in Macungie. The cornerstone for the church was laid in 1841, and it was originally a union church for members of the local German Lutheran and Reformed faiths. Lying on the ground in front of me is the headstone of Philip Wesco. It is weathered and broken, but you can still make out the inscription. It reads, "In memory of Philip Wesco." The birth and death dates are illegible, but below it reads, age 81 years and 19 days. Philip was a farmer and shoemaker and owned over 200 acres of land along Brookside Road. He was the son of Revolutionary War veteran Francis Wesco, spelled Vesquueau, a French Huguenot born in Alsace-Lorraine. Philip was one of the first persons to be buried here on land that was donated by his son Solomon. Now, it would be tempting to conclude that Philip Wesco gave the village of Wescosville its name. But the story is a bit more complicated and involves a hotel and a post office. So how did Wescosville get its name? Let's travel 4 miles north to the village to find out. I'm in the parking lot of Hunan Springs Asian Restaurant on the northwest corner of the intersection of Hamilton Boulevard and Brookside Road in Wescosville. Although the restaurant has been altered and renovated over the years, at its core is a 2-story tavern hotel built in 1797 by German immigrant Henry Bortz. At the time, there was only one other stone house in this area, but there was an established road built on an old east-west Indian trail and surveyed in 1755. This road was called the Easton Reading Kings Road and today is known as Route 222. The Bortz Hotel was built about equidistant from the already existing King George Inn in Dorneyville and Peter Trexler's Tavern in Trexlertown, today known as the 1760 House. Henry Bortz also built a structure known today as the Log House that was moved to the Wescosville Memorial Park down the road from the hotel in 1989 to save it from demolition. The Lower Macungie Township Historical Society was founded at that time through the effort to save and preserve this house. So what is the connection to the Bortz Hotel and the naming of Wescosville? Henry Bortz and his wife Lydia ran the hotel until his death in 1810, when his son Henry Jr. took over. After Henry Jr.'s death in 1826, the hotel was sold to Philip Wesco, whose grave we visited earlier. Philip and then his son Israel ran the hotel for the next 30 years. During that time, the area that would become known as Wescosville grew with the establishment of the Lehigh County Poorhouse, the ancestor of Cedarbrook, and the opening of a school. A need developed for a U.S. post office, and the application was approved in 1845. The branch needed a name, and when it was decided that it would be based in the Wesco Hotel and that Israel would be the first postmaster, Wescosville was born. Israel ran the hotel until his death in 1858. He is buried at St. Paul's UCC Church Cemetery in Trexlertown. As the village continued to grow throughout the 19th century, the Allentown and Reading Traction Company established a trolley line in 1899 that ran from Allentown to Kutztown, with stops at Dorneyville, Wescosville, Trexlertown, and other villages before arriving at Kutztown. The line ran successfully in the early part of the 20th century, with a branch added to East Texas in 1929. But with the paving of Route 222, allowing automobiles and buses to use the road with ease, and the impact of the Great Depression, service was discontinued in 1934. A volunteer fire company was established in 1931, which was eventually replaced by a state-of-the-art station, and the East Penn School District built a modern elementary school in 1965. And although the quaint general stores that previously dotted the village have been replaced by stores such as Wawa, Costco, and Target, the charm of the village is still present. But the naming of Wescosville goes back to a father and son who became one of the many entrepreneurs of a growing village. For What's in a Name, I'm Mike Flynn in Wescosville.